Danny, one or two United fans, you were talking about arriving at Old Trafford on Monday night on duty for talkSPORT, and of course getting an interesting welcome. Some no doubt very pleased to see you again, some no doubt giving you something of a roasting.
Good and bad.
But you expect that, don't you, wherever you pitch up, I'm afraid. Harry Maguire, very much in the football conversation before that game, probably during that game and after that game, because he was benched, as was Ronaldo. We never, unlike Ronaldo, we didn't see Maguire. So, of course, various questions come into play here, because not least was he benched, but he's also the captain, as appointed by Erik Ten Hag. What now for Maguire? Obviously, Ten Hag's made it clear, I'm going to be rotating Harry, that might not suit you. And you're going to be out maybe as often as you're in. So when you're out, you don't play, but you're not captain either. That might go to Fernandes. What's happening with Maguire? Do you see this as the writing on the wall for Harry Maguire at Manchester United?
Not necessarily. Every footballer has times in their career where they have a bit of poor form or criticism. He's got to come through. He's got to fight. He's got to earn his right to get back in the team. He's going to get games. They're playing lots of games. He's going to have an opportunity. We saw at Aston Villa, they bring in a centre-half, Carlos, wasn't it? Spent good money on him. Mings got taken the armband off, left out of the team. All of a sudden, he's done his Achilles. Mings is back in. He's got a chance to redeem himself. Harry Maguire doesn't seem like the type to throw his toys out the pram, kick up a stink and run for the hills. He doesn't seem like the type of guy who's going to say, get me out the door. He's at a huge football club. His time will come. I think in a way, it will do him good to come out the side, have a little look from afar, and actually, if United win a few games and get themselves.
Do you know why he's been dropped? Footballing wise, do you see why he's been dropped?
Yeah, he's struggled. He's struggled with his confidence, and he's becoming the brunt of criticism rather than. Martinez got away with it a little bit the first couple of games, or the Brentford game especially, because although he got criticised, he's new and people will give him time, and fans will be behind him as they were in the United game when he played much better. So Harry's had the criticism for quite a long time. He's bore the brunt of quite a lot of it. So actually pulling him out now, I wouldn't have. I'd have played him and Varane after Martinez's performance at Brentford, but Ten Hag was proven right with his selection.
If they build momentum and suddenly looks solid with a group of players defensively, then he becomes more and more marginalised as a result of that in a season where he needs to establish the fact that he's England's centre-half going into a World Cup. Do you not think this plays into the psyche of what Harry Maguire may or may not be thinking at this moment in time? And does it really help somebody to drop them if their confidence is not high?
I think it depends on the individual and how long you've been in a bad spell. I think with him it will help him. I don't think it's a big concern. It wouldn't be for me if I was Harry Maguire on the international front, because the World Cup's coming up quite fast. He doesn't have to. He's not going to be sat on the bench the whole season. Worst case scenario, he's going to be sat on the bench for the next 2 months before the World Cup.
But he's got to play, Danny, hasn't he?
But
he's got to play in the big games.
He will play some games.
Ten Hag's trying to build a side, and if he builds a side that wins games, then all of a sudden he's not going to change that side.
But if you look at Varane's injury record over the last 3 seasons, he very rarely plays more than 6 games on the spin. Okay. So Maguire's going to be used. And Martinez might have to fill in at left back or whatever. There's going to be games for him. He's not going to sit there and not play. So I think for now he has to knuckle down, get his head down, wait for his opportunity again. And actually, if he comes back into a side that's won a few games, the pressure will be off a little bit. But the one thing I would say in terms of Ten Hag is, why would you give him the captain's armband in the first place if you're not sure on him?
But he didn't. He didn't take it. He didn't give it to him. He didn't take it away from him.
Not take it away from him.
Because you create a Tyrone Mings situation. You create a situation where the new guy has stripped him of a captain. What's happened to Maguire? Maguire's been 2 years in the making. This sort of demolishing and destruction and degradation of his career has been about 18 months in the making. I remember having a conversation with you about 18 months ago where I made the observation he turns like an ocean liner. And that was 18 months ago because there was criticism about his form then. So now you're in a situation where 18 months now, and it built up to a crescendo last year, not with anything to do with Ten Hag, to do with the way that he was playing and the perception of him and the complete lack of ownership that the manager was having over the way the team was going in Ranić. But here we are, got the same thing again. And now, bang, straight at the beginning of the season, he's out. And he started the same way.
I think it's a hell of a message.
I think he's in jeopardy.
I think so.
What do you mean?
It's a heck of a message.
In jeopardy as in being kicked out the door?
I think he's in jeopardy of being marginalised by Manchester United.
I think it's too early to say.
And England as a result.
Partly because of he'll be on a phenomenal amount of money. I don't think you've got to have takers and takers quickly because the window's going to close in 10 days? Is it?
8-9 days, yeah.
So I don't see him moving. I think he'll stay. You need good quality centre halves. So you can't just have a 2 or 3. You need 4.
Elevate this up. He doesn't play enough games. Does that mean that we have to suggest that he gets the starting berth for England if he's not playing enough games for Manchester United?
I think it would completely depend on other people's performances at other clubs playing in the same position. I think if Gareth's got a problem at centre half coming to the World Cup and enough centre halves aren't playing enough football, I think he'll trust Harry.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.